The professors at Strixhaven will have us donning our mage robes and reading through our spellbooks. In this video, I'm bringing you a Prismari inspired build that will have you putting down the books, tapping into your inner talent to shape the elements into a work of art. Hello, welcome to Dungeoneers Pack, a channel bringing you player-focused discussions and character guides for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Josh, thank you for watching. Before jumping into the build, let's take a look at my character build guidelines. I'm going to focus on levels 1 to 10 as most campaigns are played in this level range. The goal of the build will be to fulfill the concept, but also be viable for combat and roleplay. I will be covering the features in race, class, and background choices that make the build possible. And finally, ability scores will not be defined as each table decides how ability scores are calculated. Instead, I will provide a ranking as to which ability scores you should prioritize for the build. Students studying under the Prismari banner pursue their creative endeavors to enhance their arcane knowledge. With this in mind, the concept for this character is a Prismari dancer who combines elemental magic and the performing arts to enhance their performance off the battlefield and to be a nimble force of nature in combat. Much of the art for Prismari cards feature orcs wielding magic, and while this isn't common or traditional for the game, I'm going to dive into the Strixhaven flavor and choose Orc for this build's race option. Orc will most notably provide this build's extra skills from Primal Intuition and a dash variant with the aggressive racial trait. The aggressive trait could be reflavored as our character dancing and bending the elements to bring us closer to an enemy for an attack. There are just a few elementalist options available to a player to choose from, and in order to play a Prismari mage, we need to have equal parts specialization on an elemental damage type, but the flexibility to change the damage type of our spells. So for this build, I chose the Storm Sorcerer as it allows us to double down on the lightning elemental damage type associated with the Prismari, while the meta magic option Transmuted Spell and spells like Chromatic Orb go a long way of giving us the feeling of being able to shape the elements of our spells. To really feel like a dancer or have the ability to perform another performance art, we need to pick up the performance skill, so for our background, Entertainer is a perfect fit for this build. In combat, we will be a highly mobile blaster, able to change our position with every spell we cast. Out of combat, we can play as a party face, and help out with their spells as a troubleshooter to overcome exploration challenges. Now for our ability scores. Prioritize Charisma to support our spellcasting and social skills. Next is Constitution for some solid hit points, followed by Dexterity for a decent armor class and Initiative. Next, choose between Wisdom or Intelligence. If you feel the character should play into their intuition, then go with Wisdom. If you want to play a character that is more studious, pick Intelligence. Whichever you don't choose, place it as the 5th rank stat, and Strength will be our dump stat. Moving on to our skills. The performance background gives us proficiency with acrobatics and performance. Both of these skills represent our character's aptitude as a dancer. From the Sorcerer, I chose the Arcana and Persuasion skills. Arcana reflects our arcane studies at Strixhaven, while Persuasion is our natural ability to charm the crowd. As an Orc, the Primal Intuition trait provides a list of skills to choose from, and I selected Intimidation and Perception. Intimidation is the flip side of the coin to our natural charm, able to take an aggressive approach with a difficult audience. Perception could be our character's visual awareness, able to read spacing when performing. Even then, Perception is the most utilized skill in the game, so it never hurts to have a bonus in it. Now let's get into a level by level breakdown. Starting at level 1, we pick up our class proficiencies, spellcasting, and also receive our subclass, which as mentioned prior, we're picking Storm Sorcerer. The subclass will grant us the Wind Speaker and Tempestuous magic features. We are proficient with daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, light crossbows, a disguise kit, and with a Constitution and Charisma saving throws. Wind Speaker gives us the ability to read, write, and speak Primordial. Tempestuous magic could be flavored as us dancing whenever we cast a spell. As a bonus action, we can reposition ourselves as long as we casted a spell using a spell slot. Prismari students wield elemental magic, so the spells for this build will reflect this, but it will not be a comprehensive list. With that said, here are my suggestions for cantrips and first level spells. Control Flames and Shape Water as utility spells with a variety of functions that also manipulate the elements. Ray of Frost, Shocking Grasp, Chromatic Orb as our go-to blasting option, Color Spray, Comprehend Languages, Detect Magic, Fog Cloud, Ice Knife, and Thunder Wave. With level 2 we pick up Fauna Magic, which gives us access to sorcery points that we can spend to regain spell slots, and then starting next level, use our meta magic abilities to alter our spells. At level 3, we receive the second half to the Sorcerer's mechanical identity, Meta Magic. Meta Magic is the perfect ability to represent a Prismari student's ability to shape their elemental spells. Out of all the available meta magic options to choose from, definitely pick up Transmuted Spell, as it will allow us to change the damage type of our spells, which will then allow us to capitalize on the subclass's enhancements whenever we cast spells that deal lightning and thunder damage. Also consider choosing one of the following options: Empowered Spell, Heightened Spell, Quicken Spell, and Twin Spell. And also here's my suggestion for second level spells: Aghanazar Scorcher, Flaming Spear, Gust of Wind, and Mirror Image. Next at level 4 we have the option between an ability score increase or a feat, and I went with the feat choosing Meta Magic Adept. With Meta Magic Adept, we will have greater manipulation over our spells, being able to add 2 additional meta magic options to our list. Without this feat, we'd have to wait until 10th level for our next option. In addition to this, we also gain 2 sorcery points to spend on any of our meta magic options, but we can't spend these 2 points on recovering spell slots. For other meta magic options, pick another 2 from the suggestions I listed a level prior. For level 5, we gain the Magical Guidance feature and have access to 3rd level spells. Magical Guidance lets us reroll an ability check at the cost of a sorcery point. Here are my suggestions for 3rd level spells: Counterspell, Dispel Magic, Fireball, Fly, Gaseous Form, Hypnotic Pattern, Lightning Bolt, Sleet Storm, Thunderstep, Wall of Water, and Water Walk. With level 6, we receive 2 features from our subclass: Heart of the Storm and Storm Guide. Heart of the Storm grants us resistance to thunder and lightning damage, while also letting us deal a little extra thunder or lightning damage to a nearby target after we cast a spell of 1st level or higher that deals thunder or lightning damage. This could easily be flavored as a familiar dance routine or a signature move that our character performs. Storm Guide gives us the ability to manipulate the natural elements, keeping our party dry from rain or changing the direction of the wind. When we hit level 7, we get access to 4th level spells, and here are my suggestions: Fire Shield, Ice Storm, Storm Sphere, Wall of Fire, and Watery Sphere. At level 8, we get to choose between an ability score increase or a feat again, and this time I chose the ability score increase, picking Charisma to boost our spell attack and spell save DC. Hitting level 9, we get access to 5th level spells, and here are my suggestions: Cone of Cold, Control Winds, and Immolation. And finally, for level 10, we can choose another meta magic option. Choose one of the options you haven't chosen that I suggested prior. Now let's take a look at our pros and cons for this build. For our pros, we are highly mobile. The combination of the aggressive trait and tempestuous magic feature lets us move to and away from enemies. These 2 features will let us get closer to an enemy if they are out of our spell range, or move away if they are trying to take us out from close range. This build is flexible with damage types. With our main damage spell Chromatic Orb and the transmuted meta magic option, we will still be effective in combat, able to take out enemies that may be resistant to lightning and thunder damage. And for our cons, despite flexible damage types, the subclass features put an emphasis on lightning and thunder damage. The features give us an incentive to use these damage types. Using any other damage type may feel like we are not maximizing all of our abilities. And finally, this build's defensive capabilities are low. We will be heavily relying on positioning and long-range spells to reduce the impact of this shortcoming. With that said, I want to hear from you. What kind of Prismari student would you make? Let me know down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, I drop a video every week, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out more character builds, I have a playlist just for you. You can click on the thumbnail on the screen or in the link in the description below. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.